What's going on, guys? Haven't gone live in ages. Just gonna go live this morning. Cruising down to Nashville, VA, post surgery. See how this turns out. See what they have to say. But I've been talking to Stocks and Cryptos via email, and I was like, dude, you feel the same way I do about the majority of what's happened in this AMC play in this community, especially with Adam, especially with the court case, the settlement, kind of on the same page. I'd love to chat with you, even if it was just for 5-10 minutes. Just, even if it's just going live together, hanging out. What's up, Tacker? Good morning, man. So we'll see if he makes it on. No guarantees. I sent him the email link. He's never done it before, as far as I can recall, utilizing the YouTube go live together function. So if he doesn't make it on, that's cool. I just wanted to try. Can you guys hear me just fine? Shoot me a thumbs up if you can. I don't know if there's a lot of background noise, just cruising. Like I said, this truck seems to be a little bit more quieter than my old Toyota Tacoma. Of course, before I got rid of the 4Runner, that was a lot more quiet. But I don't know about you guys. We got earnings tomorrow. A little excited to see what happens from that. We always say that, a little excited. This is supposed to be, and I believe it's going to be a really good earnings. I think there's going to be some, I don't even necessarily say surprise, but I think we're going to see some good stuff considering Barbie hitting over $1 billion. Oppenheimer, of course, I don't think they fall into that last quarter. Of course, man, I thank all service people for their sacrifices and dedications they put out for us, for our country. You guys hear me okay? Somebody shoot me a thumbs up. I want to make sure you can hear me. And like I said, Stocks and Crypto is supposed to come on. We'll see if he can make it or not. We'll see if the link even works. We didn't get to test it. I usually try to test it before I invite people on just to make sure. Good morning, guys. Just to make sure that it will work. But I just wanted to hear his opinion, one-on-one, meeting face-to-face, and what he thinks this is going to look like. But I had sold off the last of some company or some stocks I had on some other stuff. I got to pay the daughter's school, but this is how much I believe that something can happen with AMC. I'm going to risk it, chance it, invest it this week. So I just put in an order. I see AMC's already starting to run a little bit. But I'm hoping that it'll run to $4.99 for a second. I went ahead and put an order in for 1,050 shares of AMC, not Ape. To me, Ape's the bastard child. I know it's cheaper, but it just doesn't feel right to me. So I'm hoping it'll just drop to $4.99 quick enough. I can snag those 1,050 shares. And then hopefully with the earnings, we see some run. That's me doing my part this week. Going ahead and just saying, you know what? If it does and it works out, I will have to sell those, unfortunately, because I do need to pay for schooling by the end of next week. So I'm hoping that it's temporary, at least those. I won't sell the rest. But maybe that'll help with the earnings. I'm going to do my part. I don't know if 1,050 shares will make that big of a difference, but you know what? It's worth it. I was looking at all kinds of other stocks, and I'm thinking, okay, what could run, what may not run. I've been really focusing and trying to learn again. So just trying to understand some of the charting a little bit. I'm far from being an expert, but kind of catching on to the 1348 and the 200. And that's when you see like the 13 crosses over the 48. You'll go look, you'll see stocks run at that point. And then when the golden cross, they cross over their 200 moving average. The 48 crosses over that 200 in a longer period. I try to look at 3 month, and I've been seeing several of those pop off when that happens. So I've been watching for that, and I've seen some stuff like ammo. Ammo stock, POWW, or whatever it is. If it has a good earnings, I think tomorrow, next day, if it ends up having a good earnings, hey, it might pop off. It's at 208. HUBC, some of these other stocks, right? And I'm like, I'd love to make some quick money with that money ride one of those stocks, especially when you see all these other little stocks. But then when I kept wanting to push that buy button on any of those, kept researching those, trying to make up my mind, I just keep falling back to AMC, um, hoping, want to see that this earnings helps it. And considering where it's at, 30% freaking short interest. It's not our all-time high, but that's the highest we've been in a long time. 152, 155, wherever we're at, million shares shorted. So hoping we see some price action. I'd love to see that doubling that happened. I know a lot of people were excited by that. When that news came down that she denied it a couple of weeks ago on a Friday, we saw it shoot up over $8. I was in the profit on AMC. I was almost, if I'd have got up to 932 total if you combine them together, which for a second there it would have. I could have broke even across the board and escaped and been done with this. But that's not why I signed up for it. I didn't want to just take the money and run. The money's got to be worth running. And you know what? If I passed it up when I had $317,000 worth of money potential back in June of 2021, sure as hell ain't going to run just to break even. We'll see. Yeah, I believe so too, JD. And we'll see, even if it drops to $4.99. I don't know that it will. Probably should have set it at like 505 or 506, but I don't know where it's at right now. I can't click on it. I'm talking to you guys. It might be my luck. It'll just stay above the $4.99 level until earnings tomorrow, and then it'll take off. And I missed out with those 1,050 shares, but I still have all the others, almost 10,000 combined. But thank you guys for joining in. It looks like there's 48 of you joining in with me this morning on this drive. 526, cool. Well, get it to $4.99 real quick and then pop back up, damn it. But I'm a day late, dollar short. I should have did it on Friday. I knew better. I should have just pulled the trigger on Friday and just went ahead and did it because I knew that it would probably start to creep up this morning. So I'm probably going to miss out on that. Probably have to pay a bit more, which is fine. It is what it is. You know, Peter, that's my fear. I mean, he already did it on that Saturday, that weekend. I mean, what was the point of writing that letter? And then it's just out of one side of his mouth, he'll talk about how good AMC is, what it's doing, it's increasing, but we're not out of the woods yet. We're going to need money by 2024, 2025, or whatever. Create that fear mongering. And it's like the only ones that are dedicated want to be in this are the ones that are in this, right? We've been in it this long, so we're willing to stay in it. We're willing to risk. But that kind of attitude, him speaking like that, doesn't shore it up. That doesn't get other people, outside investors, outside people to say, you know what, there is a chance here. When your own CEO doesn't give the strong confidence of where it's headed. But we've seen some great stuff this summer. We got movies killing, man. I mean, how many movies this year alone have hit the $1 billion mark? I know Barbie just did. We had Super Mario's that did. I don't know. Well, there's some others. I know there's others that have hit it. Regardless, we got movies. I mean, hell, even Oppenheimer broke $500 million. And I know Adam talked about having movies that even hit 100 million. And there's been several of those too. So regardless, I think it's going to be a great earnings across the board. I think it's going to be a lot better than we've seen. That's for sure. But thanks for cruising along with me. Got this long trip. Hopefully everything's good. I can get back to work tomorrow. Get back to making regular money again, doing my job. Being out like that and cooped up, man. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced surgery or not, but being cooped up, it sucks. It's not the it's not the greatest thing in the world. But poor wife, man, she's still suffering big time. Her foot's not doing very well. Been trying to take care of her too at the same time. I know she's struggling. You guys go have that. What was it? I can't think of the name of it all of a sudden. Anyway, bunion, massive bunion. They were reset that foot, reset those toes. So she's really suffering. Where are we at? Anybody paying attention? Is it over 530 now? AMC get up over 530, 540. Oh, I'm gonna be pissed. I set it at 499 market, or set it at 499 limit. Yeah, I am always driving. I like live in the vehicle. But it's another place that I get a quiet time. It's another place that, I mean, my job requires I pretty much drive around a lot. But I can sit in here and I can think. I can talk. I can do things. 527. Oh, man. What's up, Courtesy Flush? Amen, man. We do have God on our side. There's no doubt about that. 528. Ah, come on. Just dip once to 499. Let me grab that 1,050 shares and then go on and do your business, AMC. Boom, boom time. Yeah. Boom, boom, baby. Oh. Now it makes me want to go in. You know, they say don't chase the run, right? It makes me want to go in and cancel that 499 order and put it in for 525. Grab what I can, right? Oh, there's stocks and crypto, baby. Let's get him at it. Here we go. Hey, good morning, man.
Good morning, Mike. Thanks for inviting me onto your channel. It's nice to meet you.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to meet you, man. I've watched you off and on for quite a bit. I can tell you're passionate. I can tell you follow God, and I can tell you see Adam for what he is, man. So it sounds like you and I have been on the same path and same boat and same beliefs in this community. So I'm proud to have you on the channel.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, I noticed that. Like you and me and Frankie and then Donahue George and then the one Russian guy. I can't think of his channel name, but he seems pretty neutral and kind of leans towards the no voters.
Yeah, you talking about New York Angelo?
Yep, that's him.
Yeah, he's good at getting that info, man, and just putting it up there and letting people dissect it for how they want, you know?
Yep.
I like the way he does that. So what do you think, man? I was just telling the guys the price of AMC starting to creep up today. I sold off some company stock I had. I got to pay for my daughter's schooling in about 2 weeks. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw in an order at $4.99 for 1,050 shares. See if I can run it up.
Wow.
For her school next week. But I think I missed that, man. I'm hearing it's over almost 530 now.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is. It's up near 530. It's pumping pretty strong right now. And you got did it fill your order at 1,000 shares?
Yeah, well, this morning, about 30 minutes ago, I put in a limit order at $4.99 for 1,050 shares because I had enough money to cover that when I sold off that company's stock because that's what my school for my daughter is. But I was like, you know what? I got to fill in AMC. Well, I think we all know AMC is going to have some really good earnings. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to ride that wave. I'll do my part. If I could buy 1,050 shares and help kickstart it, I'll do it. But I'm afraid now it ain't going to drop below $4.99.
Yeah, it probably won't. I think it's just going to keep pumping the rest, not the whole day, but maybe like towards the end of market close, and then it might. I'm afraid it might take a dump like towards the end of the day. They do that every time. It never changes. And then like once earnings come out, we'll have an amazing earnings, and it'll go down like 20% down. That's what my fear is.
Well,
you know.
Well, that depends on whether or not Adam poops on us or not, and what he has to say during that earnings call, man.
Yeah. He did a tweet. I don't know if you caught it, but he did a tweet last night saying that, Barbie hit 1 billion, Oppenheimer hit 500 million. He's like, but my letter is accurate and we do face liquidity concerns. So, he's still putting it out there, like trying to create the negative energy.
Which makes no sense, man. I mean, that when we doubled in price 2 weeks ago, when the Mrs. God bless her soul Zern, denied the settlement, the stock doubled in price, and then Adam on Saturday put out that letter, and then we start dumping by Monday.
Ugh.
Why would you do that, man?
That's proof. If anyone needs proof that Adam Aaron's not with us, that letter proves it because we all knew. Remember Friday when it doubled? We're like, okay, we know Adam Aaron, the hedge funds, they're in a room together coming up with a plan on how they can crash AMC stock. And it came out with that letter, like you said, Sunday night, and boom, we crashed all the way back down to 450.
Yeah, freaking Adam, man. Maybe,
Yeah.
I get it, Jay. Like, they need money, they need, they need things, but at the same time, it's like they went behind our back. And I'm sure you saw some of my videos and you probably heard the audio of that from the airport. Like, you can't claim you're one of us and then do crap behind our back. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, well, Ape was created because he lost the vote where, we voted down, in the past liquidity dilution. And so he's like, okay, I'll find a way where I don't need your vote. And that's what he did with the Ape. And I think you can see it. You definitely can see it. I can see it. A lot of people can see it, but there's a lot of FUD out there where people are kind of like misled where some YouTubers are saying, oh, the reverse split will cause a short squeeze, but that's never happened ever, like from any stock.
I know that whole QSPID change too. I mean, I've seen some Reddit posts and some of the YouTubers talking about it. Man, as much research as I've done, as much stuff. Conversion. Honestly, why aren't some of them covering or closing by now? You know what I'm saying? Why haven't they been? But they're pinning the price. They're keeping both of those stocks in a channel. And if they're doing that, that means they're not afraid, man. They're not afraid of the
Yeah,
reverse split. They're not
that's
afraid of the
that's
conversion.
interesting. They've got it, like you said, they've got it all planned out, and it needs to be in that certain price channel, like because if you watch stocks, they all fluctuate. But Ape's been locked, AMC's been locked. The only time AMC moved, like you said, was when the judge gave that ruling and that she canceled the settlement. We doubled, but then we went right back to the channel after the FUD letter. And, you know, but today we'll see what happens because we're kind of trying to break out and we're finally above five. We're at 525 now and 530. So, do you remember? I don't know if you remember, but like maybe like this was like a month and a half ago. Did you remember without the judge ruling, prior to the judge ruling, we hit $8. We were like $8.15 for like 30 minutes. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then we crashed like quickly.
Yep. I remember that, man.
That was exciting. So we could do that again, even without a ruling or anything.
What do you think, man? I mean, do you like I believe in my heart that Adam truly needs this lawsuit settlement to get full immunity, right? I mean, they really need this. The question is, it's so far it seems like Zern has been very fair. She's been really following the letter of the law and not really being biased whatsoever. And I truly think she's blown away the support, of us guys like you and I, Donnie, and all the different guys and all the no voters. Um, I'm just really curious. How long do I think you're going to take before she says anything? That whole story of her being on vacation, I don't think that's true. I hear she's still in court, but I'm just really curious how long she's going to wait.
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know. I said to my team over here, I thought, I think that she's going to wait definitely till after earnings because she doesn't trust Adam Aaron. She wants to see the earnings report. That way she'll have access to the newest, freshest balance sheet, head to toe, every piece of the business. It's public, and she can fine tooth that, see what's going on, and she can challenge him and say, hey, you guys say you have no money. It shows you got $1 billion in cash, like or whatever the situation is. And she can really push back and challenge him, which will be great for us.
Well, I wasn't able to do the full blown research. I don't know if you know Alex Holland. Alex is a very good guy. I've known him for a couple of years now. He's an investor from Germany, and he did some hardcore DD and some research, and he's looking at financials for like 6 years or 8 years. And it goes back. This is what people don't look at, but Adam pretty much came on board December of 2015. By the end of 2016, he started putting us in debt, and by 2017, he had us over $4 billion in debt.
Oh wow!
But what was crazy in Alex's information, and I haven't been able to find it, I really haven't put a lot of effort into it, but it was showing cash reserves. And it was showing AMC was operating 2016, 17, 18, and 19 with under 300 million in cash reserves, right? I mean, in his chart, it was like 260 million in cash reserves, 305, 209, right? And they were barely being profitable, if that, even still. I mean, it's not like they were massively profitable, and they were running a four plus billion-dollar debt, and they managed for years that way. But now all of a sudden, here we are, 500, 600 million, whatever it is that they have in cash, with a couple hundred million in revolving credit line. They're back on track. I mean, I think we're only going to be 20% away from 2019 numbers, but yet they're on the verge of bankruptcy all the time. Like, I don't know, man. That one
Yeah,
always bothered me.
I agree with you. Those are some great points. And all these other companies, they work with debt. Like I think Disney has 50 billion in debt. I did videos on that. Amazon, all these major companies have huge debt, and they manage it, and they're not burning cash. A problem with AMC is we have a very small debt. $5 billion is a very small debt, but we're burning cash. That's the problem. They got us in this situation where they can't pay it, where it's small debt, but like, I mean, think about it. How much are we going to make this quarter revenue? Like, I mean, what are we going to be, over a billion? I mean, Cinemark was almost a billion, so we must be like 1.5 billion at least, I would think, just in one quarter. And we're burning cash, and that that shouldn't be the case. So like you said, how did he get us in this mess where we're burning cash? Like, how is it so poorly run? How did they create all these debt traps? It makes no sense.
It doesn't. And that's why I put out that video about lawsuits and stuff. And I'm like, one of the biggest lawsuits that I think we should go after is the clawback. We just saw it with Tesla, $750 million worth of bonuses and clawback over a 4-year period. It's like, how the heck could Adam and the executives and everybody pay themselves so much money when you're supposedly running a company that's on the verge of bankruptcy and that's going to put 25,000 people, out of work? Here you are bragging, out there talking to us in this community, trying to, whatever, pump us up and stuff, but yet you're overpaying yourself. I mean, I'm sorry, but that dude didn't deserve $105 million for 2 years, while you and I and the rest of this community patiently held. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's the one that bugs me the most. That shouldn't be the case. Oh, and he put a pay raise freeze. Yeah, get out
Yeah.
of here, dude. You still made $20 million that year.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I saw that. I saw he made like 20 million, 23 million. And it's like, that's just him. What does the rest of the board make? And what are the bonuses and all that, like, and the stock awards? And it's sickening because, like you said, here we are doing everything we can to support AMC and hopefully make some money. And here he is. Oh, we'll do a pay freeze. I'll just take my 20 million. And then he always says, I ride with you. I'm one of you. Oh, really? You make $20 million. You don't buy AMC stock. We buy it. He doesn't buy it. He's gifted it.
And that right there, I made a few videos in the past. I used to support about a year and a half ago. I really supported him. I defended him. I didn't erase the videos, but I got old videos where I was attacking other people for attacking him. I'm like, he's a silverback. I mean, I'm the guy that wanted to support him. And I used to send him DMs, and I told him, I said, the community's turning against you, Adam. You got to do something, man. You got to do something. And I'm like, one of the quickest, fastest things you could do in 2021, early 2021, you went and donated 50, what was it, $50,000 to the Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund to buy into our community, right? To look good. And then you donated, it was like $100,000 total. You donated from AMC, you donated from your own personal money. And then in 2022, you said you were going to donate $1 million worth of shares, and where should you donate them? So here you are wanting to do all that, but dude, why don't you donate to your own damn community? What if you just took and bought $100,000 worth of shares and tweeted that? Like,
Yeah.
if you just got your board to say, you know what, let's all buy something to show them we ride with them. Like, how
Yeah.
understand that? You know what kind of difference that would have made if he would have just said, you know what, I do ride with you. I'll buy some damn shares.
Yes, I love that, man. I wish we could spread that message all around the ape community, because that's like such a great point. Like, why won't he do that? Why won't he say, I'm going to buy 1 million out of my pocket. I'm going to buy $1 million of AMC shares. Like, he can't do that. Like, he makes $20 million in a year. He can't spend $1 million on AMC stock. Like, I don't get it. That's a great point.
Well, even the $50,000 he gave the Diane Fossey, like, go buy $50,000 worth of shares. Just freaking show it. Like,
Yes.
all we've seen is AMC executives selling. That's it. They've been selling off, especially in 2021. Then we
Ugh.
saw Adam selling off. And it's like, you guys, you get bonus shares given to you, but just show us a little love, man. It ain't that hard. Just buy some damn shares like we are.
I agree. Oh, and one thing I'm wondering what your thoughts are on, like, did you notice like the share float? Like it's I don't know, it's around like 500 million. But like on Market Watch, it shows outstanding shares 750 million. Like, do you know what's that discrepancy? Like, where's those extra 200 million shares? What is that?
I don't know, man. If you go to different websites, these numbers are all crazy. Like it's wild, man. When you try
Yeah,
to look at market caps, you try to look at free floats. It's like some of them combined together. Some of them got some really wild numbers that don't make any sense, like the one you just said.
yeah.
I I really don't know anymore, man. I don't trust any of it, to be honest with you. I don't even think they.
Yeah, see, that proves the corruption of all of it. It's gotten out of their control to where it's spread like a fire. They can't even control it now.
Oh yeah, it's wild, man.
And then he gave how much did he pay Nicole Kidman for that commercial? Did you see that? Like he paid Nicole Kidman like millions.
$25 million for a shit
Oh,
commercial.
oh, that's disgusting. Like 25. That commercial was so stupid. Like imagine someone going to see a stupid commercial like that and be like, "Oh, let me go to AMC theater now." Like it's never going to happen. He just burnt that money with a match.
Dude, okay, I was gonna come up with an idea, but it's probably market manipulation. I'm like, why Adam can't call out to his fellow movie theater, his fellow movie stars, and I mean, Tom Cruise just made bank off of the freaking Top Gun. Like, why
Yeah.
aren't any of them buying some stock?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, man. It's just frustrating. Like, why they don't go that extra mile?
He doesn't want to do anything like everybody wants to believe he's on our side because it's easier, but he's not on our side, and everything he does proves he's not, because he has so many things he can do to help AMC, but like literally what has he done? Like nothing. Like everything he's done is crash the price, starting with Ape, right? Like we lost 40% of our AMC value when he came out with Ape, and it's been downhill since then.
It did. Well, it saturated the crap out of
Yeah.
it. $3.6 billion stolen, taken.
Stolen.
That's supposed to be free, right? No
Yeah.
dividend. Here you go, guys.
It's awful. Like, so I guess, our my thought is like, how do we get Adam out of there, or at least, enough of the board members where we could vote him out? Like, how do we get our names on? Like, just for example, like you and I, and maybe Frankie, Donahue, George. What if we all the powerful no voters we get on the board? We vote Adam Aaron out, and we get a real CEO. I mean, it sounds like a pipe dream, but I mean, anything's possible in this world.
Well, what I read a while back on that was you need like I think you need like 5% of the shares. You got to hold like 5%, and then you can be like an activist and really put pressure on the board. There's things you can do, and I thought like, how do we do that? Right? Is there a way to combine all of us and put our shares into one bank and like own it under some kind of master fund, and then be able to apply the pressure? It's not easy. What I researched, what you're saying is, it doesn't appear to be easy. It's going to take some work and some challenging. I just kind of didn't have the time nor the energy to do it. But you're right, man. It's like we need representation. We need somebody in the middle of that board that believes and supports retail in general.
Yeah.
So I agree 100%. If we could figure out a way to do that, I would back it.
Yeah, I like your idea. Like, if there was a master fund, like someone that represented a group of investors, like that we could sign up, something like Computer Share, but we can do it like where it's retail owned. And imagine the power behind that, because I know this one group in Hong Kong, they got close to 1 million shares, a small group. Just that one group. So if we had a big group of retail got together and did a master fund, that would be great, and we could get some representation on the board. That would be amazing.
It would, man. It would, no doubt.
Yeah.
Where are we at? 5:30 yet? 5:40? Or do we drop?
Oh, like the time? Or are you
No,
talking about
no,
the?
no. The stock. I was just curious.
Oh, let me take a look for you. Hang on one second. I'm gonna pull it up right now. We'll see what we're doing live right now. Real quick. Uh, It's giving me trouble to log in right now. I don't know if it's because I'm connected on this or what. Um, Second here. Yeah, it's not letting me log in. Yeah, so I'm not sure. 519, so it pulled back a little. I'm sorry, my yeah. I mean, being above 5 is a good thing. Um, Sorry, your phone was going in and out a bit. I don't know if I missed a little bit of what you said, but yeah, I saw it's back down a bit, but we're still above 5, 519. Yeah, people are commenting 519, stuck at 519. Um, so it's a controlled burn in a sense. They're like, that's exactly what it is. They're like, okay, we know it's going to have to pump. We're going to let it go here, here, here. Like they've got that pre planned. It's not like they're going to let that thing get out of control where it just runs. You could see that, but they will let it go up a bit because they have to.
Well, when they're, I haven't looked at the Vortex data in a while, and someone had sent it to me the other day, and I'm like, Jesus, man, we're at 192 roughly million shares on loan. We're now at over 150 million of them are short. And so they're utilizing, before we were running about 120, 125, and we'd be at about 190 on the shares on loan, as much as 198. I think I remember seeing 198, 199 million worth of shares on loan. And then they had that 120. So they had that buffer, right? They had those shares available to utilize. And that's what they've been doing. But they're eating into their buffer, man. The fact that they're up over 150 million officially short out of the 190, they're eating into that buffer big.
Yeah, it keeps going up. Like, I don't know if it's a record or not, but everyone was saying we were at an all-time high record of 30%, but then some people commented in my video like that, "Oh no, we were at 40% last year." I honestly never saw it that high. Have you ever seen it? Is short interest at 40%?
If I recall, I believe there was a period there it was about 41%.
Okay.
Because the reason I say is because I remember having unfortunately arguments with GME only elitist people. And they were saying, you know what, GME got up to 140%. You guys only got to 40. So if I recall, uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I believe there in early 2021, there was a point where it was up as much as 40%.
Jeez. I mean, but it's hard to know though because we don't even know how many shares are really out there, and he keeps selling like shares. But my question is, there's no shares available. So like, how do people keep buying shares? Because I'll see a new report like, oh, this company just bought $10 million of AMC shares. Like 2 3 days ago, I did a video. I forgot what company bought them, but they bought like 10 million in AMC shares, and I'm like, how? Like, is there an endless supply of AMC shares? Like, how are you buying shares?
That part never made sense, man. It
Yeah.
really doesn't because obviously with the OBD or whatever, majority of retail isn't selling, hasn't been selling. There has been people that sold. We went from 4.2 million down to 3.8 million, but that's still a crap ton of people that are still holding their shares. So it's like, where are those shares coming from? Everybody says, well, they just keep printing them,
Yeah.
which I really do. Obviously with the FTDs being so high that they are now, we're on the threshold for the umpteenth time. I mean, we're still on it, aren't we?
On the threshold, yeah, 30 days now. 30 days on the non-compliance threshold list. And but remember last time we were up near 30 days and then like we got off the list and there was no price action, like it, and nobody covered. It was just off the list, no cover, no price action, no increased volume, nothing.
And it was like the day after Adam tweeted about it too, if I recall. It just
Yeah.
all of a sudden was off the threshold list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. We'll see what happens. I mean, like the Judge Zern effect is going to be what makes or breaks us. So if she cancels this next settlement again, like that's going to be great. Like, I mean, we doubled last time. If she cancels it again, what's going to happen?
Oh, it'll be great. I strongly believe that if it does cancel, it's going to be great for AMC. It's probably going to suck for Ape, which I really don't care. I mean, I still hold pretty much the same amount of Ape that I have as AMC, and it's a part. It's 40% of my shares, but I hate freaking Ape. It's like the wicked stepdaughter or wicked stepsister, right? Like
Yeah.
I just hate it, so I don't really care what happens to it. Unfortunately, we got too many people that bought into the hype, of switching and oh, let's go Ape heavy versus it. And I get it. I almost did it, dude. I almost did. I thought about it. I was like, shoot, I could get twice as many shares if I go Ape heavy, but I just couldn't do it. It just didn't make sense to me. I'm like, I just can't take that risk.
Yeah.
It sounds too good to be true, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I stuck to my guns and stuck to what I started out as.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I hear you because I owned quite a bit of Ape at one time too, and then I sold it and put that money back into AMC because I just felt like AMC is the legit stock. In Ape, there's 5 billion of them they approved, so they got about 1 billion out right now, but they can dilute another 4 billion Ape. Like that's terrifying, and they can't do that with AMC. They cannot dilute it. So as of right now, that's the only one they can't dilute for sure.
Oh yeah, they're totally stuck,
Yeah.
and that's what he wants, man. He wants that open ability to dilute at will.
Yeah, yeah. And my thought is like they got to come up with a different way to get out of the debt. Like maybe close some theaters, like whatever you have to do, get out of the debt on your own. But like he's fixated on getting out of debt with our money. Like he's like the only way we get out of debt is like to take your money. Like he's giving no alternatives. Like there has to be another way for them to clean house, and streamline things, and we cannot be burning cash anymore. But he just has one idea and one idea only: take from the retail shareholders, and we'll be fine. That's his literal only solution.
Well, I'm not an expert at all. I just was cruising this website today. There's this company called what is it, Mode Phone, and what they do is they turn your phone into like monetization. Is the way I was understanding it, but they're kind of a startup, and they were actually offering through their website the ability to become an investor. And so you can pick up the shares at 8 cents a piece right now, right? And you
Oh,
got to invest at least $450, and then they're giving bonus shares, and that's how they're raising capital. That's the way they're raising capital. Now, granted, they aren't on the New York Stock Exchange, so this is a different aspect, and it goes back to the rights offering. But I'm like, how many people, including me, that are pissed off at Adam, that hate Adam, but we're all still willing to support the company because the company is what matters.
yeah,
I mean, that's where my stocks are. So I'm like, yes, I understand you're in debt, but like you just said, let's find a different way. Well, guys, if you want to sell some stock direct to me, slap an actual dividend, even if it's 5 cents on it, 3 cents on it to start in 2024 or something. Give me something, and I'll support you. I'll freaking buy those, and I know the majority of everybody else would too. Like,
absolutely.
I mean, people have said, let's do GoFundMe's. People have come up with everything. Hey, we'll help you address this debt issue. But here's the thing: I strongly believe if you go back and you watch all the interviews, because I've made videos about them, all the interviews Adam's ever done in the last 3 years, and you really listen to that man's words, you can tell where his priorities are. And it's because he says the same three things over again. But when he talks about addressing a debt, it's number two or number three. It's usually number three. And so it's like,
Wow.
if debt was a major issue, wouldn't your focus be debt and debt only? Like,
Yeah.
wouldn't your mentality keep you would just focus on talking about debt and getting the debt out of the way? And we're promised. He hasn't even promised us. He runs around to theaters telling people, "Oh, if you'd let me sell 125 million shares in the summer of 2021, we could have had 4 billion or 5 billion, and we could have paid off debt." Bullshit, Adam.
Yep.
Bullshit. Because if you, sorry for cutting, but
No, it's true.
if you were truly going to address the debt, why has it not truly been the focus? I mean, that man, mergers and acquisitions, that's the thing that comes out of his mouth the most.
Mergers
He
and acquisitions.
he likes to absorb, and he's buying up theaters, and he's doing all these things. And it's like, no, if you want to go around telling us that we're in trouble because of debt, then focus on debt. Literally focus on debt.
Yeah, just reduce that. And I agree with what you're saying there. And you've come up with some great ideas, like on how to reduce debt, which he hasn't come up with any. And um, what was I going to say about that? With the debt, I lost my train of thought. Darn it. Um, But basically, like you said, if he would give another solution to paying off the debt, we would support that. We would support him, and like I had his back for the longest time too, until he came out with the reverse split. Then I knew, I was like, for sure. I was like, okay, he's just not one of us, and that's when I did the turn and I started telling people, I was like, I want to support Adam Aaron, but I can no longer support him. That was like, I don't know, when he came out with that's when I turned on him,
Yep.
you know and because like you see what happens, like if there was like examples of stocks doing a reverse split in short squeezing, I would be like, hey, there is a chance. But there are none, and like I always challenge people, like when they tell me in my comments, they'll be like, oh, other stocks have done a reverse split and done a short squeeze, and then I always say, oh really, comment below what stock it is so let me research it, and they never do. And there never is a stock. Nobody can show me a stock that has done that. The best thing they could do is show me one that reverse split, crashed, and 5 years later went up. That's the only thing they can show me.
Well, they say, I did a little research on that too, and the ones that they talk about that they try to push at us is Citi. The Citi was there was a point there that Citi reversed, and then it kind of progressed up. And I think the biggest one of all that they try to harp on, and I know that Bigum's guy harps on it too, but was Bookings back when it was Priceline. So Bookings did a reverse split way back in the day, and then with travel and everything took off, and then Bookings, they kind of cornered the market on the high. Price to more of attractive, you know, and it did it. But they're truthfully, if you read the stocks that were split, they reverse split to maintain their status. They need to get their stock back to an attractive level. But typical split is considered a thing. The only time it's considered a good thing is when the stock gets out of control, like Tesla did when it got up to 2,500. Companies. Those are the only positives. They only do it so that the stock gets more attractive to retail traders.
Yep.
So the odds are against us with reverse split. I'm sorry, they're so far against us. It's like I believe in being the underdog, but damn, that's not the underdog. That's just stupidity in my mind.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. And then the thing with the price line, I heard about the price line too, but from my research, unless I missed it, like it didn't short squeeze, like it didn't go up until like much later. Like they did the split, the reverse, and then like nothing happened for the longest time, and then it went up, like because it wasn't like it did a short squeeze like the next day or the next week or the next month or the next 3 months. It took a while.
Oh, you're correct. So as far as like the stock squeezing the moment after reverse split or within a short period of time, I haven't seen any either. They're usually, it helps them recover over time.
Yeah.
But yeah, like actually creating a true squeeze from a reverse split, no, never seen it.
Yeah, never. So, there's a people in the community that think that because of Bigums or whoever told them this, they think like, oh, once the reverse split happens, we short squeeze. Like they think this, like because Bigums or whoever yes voter told them this.
Yeah, I know it's sad. I mean, just like my video I just put out over the weekend. These stocks, there's been, I don't know, 35 of them now in the last couple of years that I've paid attention to, kind of done their little mini squeezes, whether it's 2, 3, 6, 8, 900% runs ever since 2021. But if you go and look, majority of those are running due to the fact that they're the options. Notice I'm not an options guy, and I ain't going to claim to be. I don't know much about it at all. In fact, this morning I was trying to research a little bit more, but the majority of it was there was a lot of option plays out there on those stocks. And then, of course, retail that could afford to buy in. Once the chatter got pushed around through social media, through WSB, through Twitter, YouTube, whatever, then the attention started coming, and then you got retail investors that start swooping in. You get that FOMO going, and then you get that gamma ramp, and that's exactly what AMC did. That's exactly what GME did. That's exactly what every one of those squeeze stocks did. And so it's like that's been the only thing that I've seen that's worked, and that was due to the amount of people buying, in the stock options. So I'm like, this whole deal about the conversion and the CUSIP exchange, like You know how many stocks have done reverse risk and Q-spit number changes and nothing's happened? Almost
Exactly.
all of them.
Almost all of them. Yeah, they all get
Yeah.
new cusp numbers. Like it's nothing like mysterious. There's nothing new about it. They all do it and they all crash. Like the only thing I know for sure is if a company's going to do a reverse split, the stock's going to crash. That's the only thing I know for sure. Because like I watch all the stocks, I watch everything that does a reverse split, and it's like clockwork. You're like, oh, there's an announcement of a reverse split, and you see like the stock tanking immediately, like just straight down, like straight down.
Yep.
You never hear of an announcement. Oh, we're going to do a reverse split, and the stock skyrockets. Like you never hear that or see that.
Nope. And I mean, and that's the other side of it. The theory is, well, they'll be able to reverse split, and then they'll be able to dilute, be able to pay off debt. It's like, okay, first off, in 2020, AMC shares was down to like 56 million shares.
I'm sorry I lost you. I missed what you said, Mike. I'm sorry, but maybe your team heard it, but I think I'm losing the feed. Okay, yeah, I can hear you now. It was just buffering, and like I couldn't hear anything you were saying.
Yeah, that's the problem with me driving and traveling. Anyway, what I was saying was, is in back in 2020, if you recall, AMC's float size was like 52 million. I mean, hell, at one point it was only 26 million shares. And then before he started fully diluting, I mean, we were under like 92 million shares. And then he started diluting in 2021, and he got us all the way up to the 525 million shares. And that was like that was like a 900% share float
Oh,
increase in a short period of time.
that's
So
awesome.
now you talk about doing a reverse split, running it back down to 152 million shares, which gives him the ability to execute another 400 million whenever he wants. What is that going to be, like a 2,000% float increase? Like, how is the share price ever going to stay higher than $30 or $27? The
Yeah.
value is just not there.
Yeah, I agree. You can't have it that high. Like, and he knows it wouldn't stay that high, and like it would stay that high like just till the market opened, or pre-market. It would start crashing like immediately. Like, and you can make a lot of money probably shorting the stock. I may do that if the reverse split goes through. I got to come up with a new strategy because if the reverse split goes through, I mean, people are going to get wiped out, like wiped out. We've seen it happen with every other reverse split in the last 2 years. So we'll need a new plan at that point if that happens.
Well, I was trying to get people to understand and calculate their true cost averages, right? I was like, guys, you're over here preaching and praying for a reverse split, and you're like, give me my 100 Hondas, let me go down to 90, lose 90% of my shares because it's going to help pay off debt. And it's like, wait a minute, guys, you need to run your true cost average because I'm lucky, dude. I bought most of my shares when they were under $9, down to $6, $5. So my average combined is 939 or some shit, right? But I'm like, when I ran my 690, what's my cost average? Like, you're 93, you're 87, you're 114. Like, that's their new cost average per share.
It's
So if
terrifying.
if AMC doesn't go up or squeeze after the reverse split, you talk about being buried.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
bro, there's no coming back. You
I
know what I'm
agree.
saying?
100%. Yeah. I mean, because that's what people aren't thinking about. They only think about, oh, the stock's going to go up to $30 or $40. Yeah, but like you said, your cost average is going to go way higher and you're trapped. And that's what they want. They want to trap the investors where they can never get out because they're like, oh, how can I sell now? My average is $90 and the stock's at 20 now because if it goes to 30, it's going to crash to 20 or 15 or 10, like, and they are trapped forever unless they sell at a massive loss. So it's awful what they're doing. But people like you and I and Frankie and Donahue George, we're trying to like help people and warn people and just do what's right. But it's hard to get enough people to understand what's going on because of all the confusion. But at least we're doing our part, to try to help people.
It's all we can do, brother. It's all we
Yeah.
can do. I mean,
Yeah.
it's in our hearts. Love your brother, right? Sacrifice yourself. I try to explain to my wife. I said I do this because I feel like I'm sacrificing myself for the community, for my people. I mean, I
Right.
bought in with them, and I want to help them. That's the reason I started this whole stupid channel. Was I just wanted to be a voice and just kind of, you know, give people encouragement and excitement and stuff. But it just turned for the worse with the damn of the ape shares. I will
Yeah.
forever hate that, man.
Yeah, that was if you want to say what was the point where we got stabbed in the back, it was ape. That when Adam Aaron said I'm gonna pounce, like uh, it was pounced on us because at that precise moment we were betrayed. Like we knew it's like there's a knife in our back. It's like we're like that's if you look in history and look back at it. Looking back at it, that's when we lost it. Was when he turned on us for sure. Was with the ape.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. Well, I don't want to keep you too long. I've got to figure out what exit. I've kind of done a big giant circle
Okay.
around Nashville. I'm actually enjoying talking to you,
Oh,
but I
yes,
got to
sir.
get to this. But chatting, man, like I said, I'll come on if you want. I think you know how to do it
Yeah.
now. These lives are pretty cool, man. We could just rap back and forth for. I didn't get to read any of the comments. I can't read without my glasses on, but I see a lot of people been commenting. I know a lot of people support you. I've had a lot of people message me about you. They really like you, and they've asked me to do this before several times. Like you should talk to Stocks and Crypto. I'm like, you know what? I want to. I want to know. I do this because I want to know who I'm in the foxhole with. Right? I
Yep.
want to know who I'm on the front line with. Who's got a voice and whose voice they're speaking. And I believe the voice that you have, man, is a good voice. So I appreciate you taking the time out with me.
Thank you so much, Mike. Absolutely. I feel the same about you, and I'll have you on my channel too, so people can see you and know that you're one of people that can be trusted and all that. And I think it's good for our community. And thanks for having me on. I really appreciate you, and thank you to your team as well. Grateful for all of you.
Absolutely, brother. And go AMC, keep pushing, drop the 499 and then take off.
All right. All right, man. Peace out.
All
I'll
right.
talk to you later.
Thanks, brother.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks, guys, for stepping in. I'm going to get over to the VA. Just wanted to bring some more unity in the community. I think unity and community cross-pollinating, get to hear from each of our fellow YouTubers and just see where us truly so-called no voters, us that are against Adam, we're connected. We're still the same connected people that started in this movement. We haven't turned against the idea of our AMC shares, our AMC community, and the fact that we have the shorts trapped. We haven't done that. That's we haven't switched over to ape. You guys have seen that. We stuck true to what we believe in. And you see that right there, man. That's the unity we can have. That's the unity. We're stronger that way. We've always been stronger that way. But unfortunately, it's turned into a giant divided mess. It's like politics. I knew it was a matter of time before you have the left and the right. And that's what sucks. And then you folks, as the viewers, you get caught between the left and the right. And you get these social media influencers, these YouTubers, all these different people that you listen to, and you don't know. You got one over here talking all this, you got one over there talking all that. So you got to decide for yourselves, guys. I just wanted you to know, I always want you to know, uni's the best. When we can unite, we can be strong together, we can believe in the same thing. That's when things can happen. That's when things can change. So thank you guys for hanging out with me today. We'll talk soon.